24th, 2012, to order at 7 o'clock p.m. Everyone please rise for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, call the roll, please. Stirrup.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
Conan.
Here.
Bullock.
Here.
Ballard.
Here.
Cooper. Here. Audie.
Here.
Me and the clerk are here too. I don't know why we're not on
Don't
roll
call
call.
us.
Even if you don't vote, why don't you at least on roll call?
Joe Sarah. Okay. I called it. Moving on. Everyone has the agenda in front of them. Are there any additions, deletions, or is there a motion at this time?
Madam President, I move that the agenda be approved as presented.
Motion by Mr. Ballard. Is there a second?
Support.
Support by Mr. Wolack. Any other discussions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carried. Any citizen comment on non-agenda items? Any citizen comment? Hearing none, we have no presentations tonight. We're under administrative reports. We have an F&B report, treasurer's report, planning commission meeting minutes, and liaison reports. Mr. Sturt, would you like to start off?
We have in front of you is the F&B report. You can see, if anybody has time to read it, a couple of alarms came, they were called out. Well, other than that, they're continuing to work on the DEQ report, and SBR's number one still down there cleaning it up a little bit still.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be done with it next.
Do you have anything to add, Mr. Bailey?
No, that's not it.
Okay. Are
It's
there
nice
any?
and quiet.
Are there any questions? Okay, hearing none. Moving on. Any liaison reports at this time? Any liaison reports? Hearing none, we'll move on to general business. So we have our consent agenda. We have the regular council meeting minutes of September 10th, 2012, and payment of bills. Are there any additions, deletions, or is there a motion at this time?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Motion by Mr. Sturt. Is there a second?
Support.
Support by Mr. Clark.
I was gonna say, I heard Steve, I'm not sure where it came from over there.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carried. Old business, Spencer Street is all we have. Are there any public comments? Any public comments? Hearing none, Mr. Ballard, this is your agenda item.
Thank you. The contractors installed the arch basin to alleviate the drainage down there that we've had. Contractors scheduled to work on finishing the punch list items this week, weather permitting. So it's progressing along. I see that we've got the one driveway that was in question up there has been removed so that they could put this in, and they're going to be pouring that. So when they get it done, they get it done. Weather permitting. So we're progressing.
Are there any questions for Mr.
Did
Ballard?
they put that in writing,
What's that?
that they was gonna do it this week?
This is weather permitting, so that's, about all we can do.
Well, I mean, if they
Yeah.
put that in writing too, in other words, that's what I thought maybe they did.
Yeah, no, we got it from Giffords Webster, so we get a report from them. And I do know that they were down there last week, I want to say Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. And that's when they put the drain in, and they prepared Mr. Hill's driveway for replacement. And so they're working on it, and I guess they're more or less coordinating with another pour that they've got going in the village as far as the concrete and things like that, so when they get to it, they can.
Well,
Can I have that?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Was that a new beehive catch basin they put in? I took a walk along there, it looked like it appeared to be.
They get appeared.
Yeah, okay.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, we're moving on to new business. First item is the bid award for the CDBG sidewalk project in the DDA district. Are there any public comments? Any public comments? Hearing none, this is Street Administrator Ballard and the Village Clerk's agenda item.
I can take a while.
Go ahead.
First of all, yay, transfer to a point where we're actually, we actually got the bids this morning. We received 3. The low bidder was Scott Williams Excavating. You guys have a copy of a letter from Giffords. So far, I mean, everything looks good. We're able to spend almost all of our CDBG, which is fantastic. So all we really need from council is to award the bid, the contract to, who Scott recommended, which is, I lost their name, Scott Williams Excavating. So, anything else you want to add, Andy?
No, I think you covered it.
Okay.
I have a quick question. The amount in your letter here is different from the amount, they had the project at 95 and this says 88. Is that because of the contingency or the?
That includes the inspection fee that you
Oh,
actually
okay.
pay to us, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
is
what
it
we're-
88 or
It's
95?
the 88.
It's
88, okay.
Not hearing any other questions? Or do I make a motion?
I'm fine.
Okay,
but-
I'm going to resolve to accept the bid and award the contract to Scott Williams Excavating for the CDBG sidewalk project in the amount of $88,119.60 and authorize the village clerk and president to sign all documents on behalf of the village.
Motion by Mr. Ballard, is there a second?
I'll support it.
Support by Mr. Stewart, any other discussion?
Did we get references?
Yes?
We did? And they were satisfactory?
Any other questions or comments?
Lyle, did you keep a not to exceed in there?
No?
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't. Okay.
It's a roll call vote.
Who seconded Stuart?
Yes.
And I'm sorry,
Mhm.
I was
Okay.
trying to fill in the blanks here. Ballard,
Yes?
Stuart,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Woollett,
Yes.
Audie,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Cooper.
Yes. Motion passes. When do you think they'll start work on that? Don?
That's kind of up to them, but we're hoping within the next couple of weeks, once we get the pre-construction meeting set up and get their schedule set.
Okay, perfect.
And we're gonna have Ed on this one, that's gonna be our project manager with you, so.
The next agenda item is a special event approval for the DDA Armageddon Parade. Are there any public comments?
Sure are.
Okay. Ms. McLeod?
Hi. I just want to say, I know it's not going to get changed, the event, but there has to be some due diligence when it comes to downtown events. I can tell you as a business owner, there are 4 days of the year that I don't want to see anything downtown. Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Easter, and Sweetest Day, which happens to be the day that was picked for Armageddon. Now, I understand that Mrs. Stork said all the businesses are on board and they think this is a wonderful idea. I personally can provide you, if you'd like, statements from 6 businesses that were never approached on this idea. Okay? 3 of them will be directly affected. This is not going to bring business to us. This is going to deter business from coming to us on a very big day for us. People aren't going to drive around and around and around and around to look for parking places to come in and buy a bouquet of flowers. Mrs. Stork is of the opinion that this is going to bring in floods of business for us and we're all going to be so happy. The truth is, nobody is going to go buy a bouquet of roses and walk around town and watch them freeze. It's not going to happen. So, she never approached us, any of us. We were never asked our opinion. It was slid in under the wire. I understand she came in on a Friday, brought in improper paperwork, she was tabled to the next week, never saw an agenda that she was going to be here on the 10th, and boom, she was approved. Now, whatever they think went on did not go on. I think it was poor choice of date. I think that they're not doing what they should when it involves the whole downtown area. And if they want to keep holding events, then they need to come to the people that are directly affected and talk to them first. Because now Mike Pfluger's going to lose business, Papa's going to lose business, and we're going to lose business. Memory Makers has appointments scheduled all day and all night for photographs. She too is canceling her nighttime appointments. And I think this was completely wrong, that she could come in, slide in under the wire, and claim that everybody's happy-go-lucky about the whole thing, because it didn't happen. And the only way we found out about it was when we were approached last Monday to ask if we wanted to sponsor a scarecrow, and she's already passing out paperwork for all of us to sign up for the lighted parade that's happening at 7 o'clock on Saturday night, when you guys haven't even approved it yet. She's passing out application forms and having them filled out for something that's not even approved.
Just a comment on that. Whereas Mrs. Stork is very, very involved, the fault would really lie with the DDA under the leadership of John Paterick. This event, the Armageddon comes under them.
Well, I'm under the understanding that Armageddon is not.
I'm sorry, Armageddon.
Armageddon has nothing to do with the DDA with the exception of the parade. Armageddon is completely board and bike. Only the parade is the DDA. That's been made very clear to us.
I would have to, if you want to put blame or responsibility, I'd have to lay it on the DDA. That's who set that date. Now, might have been a suggestion by somebody else, but that really, it's the DDA that would have to take the
So what are
responsibility
the
for that date.
procedures? So then what are the procedures? If there's going to be a downtown event and it's either brought about by an organization such as Board and Bike or the DDA, they come in, they slide their paperwork in, complete, incomplete, whatever the case may be. Nobody's made aware. I mean, I can tell you that none of us were told anything by anyone.
I'm certainly not arguing that at all. The date has been established for quite some time, but that doesn't mean it was given to anybody.
Sometimes,
Yes, the DDA is very big about saying everything they're doing is for you. That's what they say at the meeting. They're trying to help our business.
so what is some time? Near as I can figure, the earliest this may have ever been brought about was August 24th, maybe.
Well, I think you have to, the last 2 years, I don't know, has it been the same weekend
No,
or has it been a
last 2 years,
different
it
one?
was the first week, I have all the minutes.
Last
Yeah.
year,
Last
last
year
Yeah,
was
I
the
don't
first
recall what
weekend.
time it
Last year it
was.
was October 1st.
Yeah, it was the first weekend in October.
Because it was the
last
first
year.
weekend of October, then it was homecoming, and then Sweetest Day was the week after. I mean, we participate fully in almost everything. We sell Armada Board and Bike products in our store. Our son is a part of Board and Bike. We have never denied them anything.
Oh, no, I'm not
But
saying
I'm not
that.
going to place blame on John Paterick and the DDA when it's been made very clear to us that they have nothing to do with this with the exception of the parade.
The DDA's portion of this is the parade and also the Coon Creek drive-in thing.
So
No,
what,
that's under Board and Bike, Dave, according to their event permit.
so what?
That wasn't not what John told me, but I won't disagree
Yeah,
with
that's what's,
anybody here.
because the only thing that this permit is for tonight is for the parade from the
Yeah.
DDA.
Correct.
But
Everything else, and I asked Mrs. Stork that specifically at the last meeting. What are you guys doing? Everything that's listed on that sheet of paper that was turned in, with the exception of the parade, because the parade was listed.
So what are procedures? I mean, if they can come in and say everybody's on board, but nobody's been made aware, what are procedures to create this volatile situation where, you know, everybody's having words and hanging up on each other and nobody wants to participate in anything anymore?
Well,
I
I
mean,
feel
this is
bad
the
for
first time that-
it just, and you've got some very, very valid points, and it does need to be rectified. So, we've got to do something.
But yeah, how
because
do we
just like
rectify?
you said, we can't just take someone's word that, yep, everybody's on board.
Yeah.
We need to know that for sure, I guess, when we put
Approve
together
permits.
these event
Approve
policies
permit.
and approve their permits. So, I mean, if you've got any ideas, come and talk to us.
Well, right
If
now I'd like
anybody
to
has
know
any ideas.
how and what areas of town are gonna be occupied because somehow we're gonna have to have access to make upwards of 50 or 60 deliveries during the day. And there's gonna be people, you know, assumably there'll be people everywhere. Now, last year, it was only about 45 degrees. Half the vendors didn't show up in town, the sidewalks were barren.
And the year before it rained.
It rained the year before.
Right, and last year I said, why do you have everybody outside, all the vendors? You know, maybe you should move them inside like you do for Armada. You know, you would draw more people in. Well, apparently that has now become the thing, that she wants everybody inside because it was my suggestion. Well, I can't have anybody sitting in our store that day.
Right.
I mean, I can't,
Right.
I mean, browsers, I don't want to seem ungrateful, but we gotta have a path. You know, what do you-
I have a quick question for you. You mentioned you're on Board and Bike. Has the date ever come up through the Board and Bike communications
No.
that you guys have had together,
No.
the date?
No.
Okay, so they didn't talk about it with you
Well,
guys as
I'm
members
not
either?
on Board and Bike. I usually get asked questions or asked for things when somebody wants something from us.
Mhm.
You know, it was never
Yeah.
until we were brought the paperwork to do the scarecrow and sign up for whatever else.
Okay,
there
so
may
they
be.
didn't discuss it even with your membership?
No, I mean,
Just
it was, the first I heard of it was maybe 10 days ago was the first phone call I got from Mrs. Stork asking if we wanted to have one of the vendors in our store.
Okay.
And I said, absolutely not. It's not going to happen. And then through asking more questions, you know, I find out about August 24th, got tabled on the 27th, came in on the 10th, boom, it was approved. Well, I mean, there was no discussion at any time. And we did our due diligence. We talked to other business owners and asked them, did you know? And Mrs. Stork is of the opinion that you should be thankful that we're bringing more business to the downtown. I am. However, I would be more thankful if you were bringing business to the downtown when we don't already have business here. The following weekend, the previous weekend, you know.
Well, a possible solution to this, and I know we've discussed it before, is, and maybe it's something that I'll start working on, is going around and getting each of the business owners' email addresses and popping, you know, setting up a distribution list, and when a special event policy comes through before it hits
That's
our
the whole
meeting,
downtown.
we email all the businesses, and if you have a dispute about the date, you come to the meeting then and let us as council know about it, because honestly, I can tell you, I didn't know Sweetest Day was October 20th. I had no idea.
You're not supposed to, your husband is.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, thank
Would
you
we
for
hope?
reminding us.
But I will count on you six to be there on Sweetest Day. It's that simply would work. I mean,
Yes.
just so we would be able to say. Because now I know on the flip side of the coin is, well, if you attended meetings or watched them on TV or, you know, paid attention to the current agenda or
Even-
what's coming up, then,
But the
Okay.
DDA did set up that date. That
But
date.
those,
That date-
I don't even have minutes from the DDA from February on, so I don't know when they would have set the date. But even if, in your defense there, even if you watched the meetings when it got tabled, I don't think the date was ever discussed here until the permit came through.
Right.
So,
But
you
that's
know,
something that we could include, you know, I
Absolutely.
know I talked to Dr. Shara about it, and she was all on board, and unfortunately, busy fell through the cracks. I personally will work on that, so we can get all the business owners an email address, set up a distribution list here in our office, and we can include that in with our policy and the way we set it up, because it is a new policy, we're still learning, but
well,
that
and
is something.
unfortunately, if you just take the word of what you're told, you know, I mean, you take the word for what you're told, but I don't remember that.
well, and it,
if it was
you know,
said
again,
specifically here or not,
there's
but-
really only 4 days out of the year that it would directly affect us.
But maybe it affect, you know,
Another
affect
business,
some-
another
business,
day,
so.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Maybe something we can work through with the Armada Business Association with too, give them a heads up when we get an event policy or event.
But I don't know that
application.
every business downtown is a
Yeah.
member of
Right.
the ADA.
And
I just think setting up a
unfortunately, the
distribution list
DDA and the
is-
Armada business, you would think would kind of really work close together, but it does not seem like they do. You know.
Okay.
Well,
No,
I'm
I-
still gonna kind of go with this falls squarely on the organization that's sponsoring the event. I mean, until I'm just of the opinion this is not a DDA. If we're strictly talking about the parade, we're not. I mean, you
No,
know, it
the
came up
parade
under
is
parade
DDA,
business.
and the establishment of that October 20th date is DDA. The vendors, the contest, those things are not the DDA. That is Board and Bike, but the establishment of that date lies squarely with the
So you guys
DDA.
established the date at a meeting that you voted on? Is that, okay?
I'm not sure they voted on it, but it was,
Okay.
Okay, what can we do to fix it?
Well, I just mentioned the email addresses
No,
of the
but
businesses, I think
For the
that's,
event, right now.
You can move it to October 27th, that'd be good.
I don't
Can
think we can
we-
do that at this
Last
point.
meeting, like,
What?
was there a way to move the.
One
to a different
recommendation.
date? I think you guys-
Yeah, because we're doing the sidewalk construction
Right,
too.
that was
We've
one.
got a lot going on.
Right.
That was one.
Well,
Which,
But it's not, that,
Yeah,
the
that's a
sidewalk though is still gonna be going on October 27th. It's not, it
Oh,
won't be.
okay.
Originally,
Can
when we
we,
had our first date.
we're
it
not
would've
shutting
been-
down all of downtown.
Okay,
There's only
let's just
part,
put it, are there any other public comments then, so we can bring it back to
Yeah.
council deliberation? Are there any other public comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll bring it back to council deliberation. We have in front of us the parade specifically, on the agenda tonight. We unfortunately don't have the event because it was approved last meeting. If we wanted to go ahead and revisit that, we would have to add it to the agenda for the next meeting. We can't make a motion because it's not even on our agenda, and to be fair to Board and Bike, they don't even know that it would be on the agenda, so we can't really do that to them
Should we-
either.
Can we move it, or can we figure out something with their parking? Could we maybe block off an
We
area?
can discuss it with Board and Bike. I know we already discussed with Board and Bike that they are gonna have to work with us one-on-one because we have the sidewalk thing going on. So I'm assuming we're gonna be having some meetings coming up. So we can discuss where their tents are gonna be. We can advise, based on some business owners' comments, where it's best not to have tents, and where to control a little bit more of a traffic flow, to keep it moving.
yeah, you may have to move some of them tents out of there.
Right.
How about we event put up 4 or 5 parking spots for them reserved for the day? That's not that hard.
I don't know if we would
But
be
if
able to
you're-
control that. I mean, you'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
asking the
And how
police
to
to.
advertise.
Good point.
Right.
So-
Blocked off.
Not
So
until
they-
the parade. The road itself is only gonna be blocked off during the parade, which is at 7.
Yeah. You're more concerned during the daytime, or
Yeah.
not?
Right.
Well, people being able to park and go into your business, I
Yeah.
completely understand that,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, we may have to, not let them use the whole side of that
We
road.
could do 15-minute parking temporarily.
But who's gonna police that? You'd
Yeah.
have
Our
to bring in more,
police.
I know, but you'd have to bring in more police for that.
We're doing
They're-
it.
They have to stay
Yeah,
right
they've
there all
got a
day.
police,
Point.
yeah.
what sidewalks are being?
The downtown sidewalks are, I believe, we don't have a map of where any of the tents are going. I believe it will probably be from Cozy Corner, that area, Squirrel Way Books, down to the Township Hall. So all of those sidewalks, I assume, are gonna have tents. I've never been to Armageddon, so I don't know what exactly they do.
No, I thought you were redoing sidewalks.
Oh, no,
Not down there.
not the downtown, not the
Not
yet.
downtown. By Cozy's and by Squirrel Away Books, next to the Dollar Store and Church Street and First Street, not the
Not in front of
downtown
yours.
sinking sidewalks, not yet. Those will be done next year. That's what we call them.
Yes. We have project names.
They all know what I mean.
And
Madam President, if I could suggest, why don't we invite business owners to the meeting? To the Board and Bike meeting, and we're gonna have the.
Well, we haven't really set up anything. We
When
just
you-
said we were gonna start communicating with them. We weren't setting up a formal open meeting or anything like that. I was hoping we could just have conversations, one-on-one and,
Don't you think that it would be better for representatives of the business to come in and sit down with the Board and Bike and say, listen, this is our concern, all right? Because I don't know if it would come to fruit or not, but at least the business owners who are going to be affected by this, which we know, are going to have the opportunity to tell the committee on this what their feelings are and how they would like to see it done, because it's their wallet, let's face it.
Well, if Stephanie has written, you have written statements?
Oh, no, I'll get them for you.
Okay, because I'm
Yes,
thinking
please.
that might be helpful
And-
too.
That'll be very
We
helpful.
don't wanna be the rain on the parade. I mean, it's already in motion, they're already advertising it. It's just from this point forward, somebody has to be responsible for the due diligence. If
Right.
it comes down to the event organizers, the DDA, the whatever, they have to come to the businesses. We don't live in a metropolis of 20,000 people.
You know,
Well, if we make it part of the process, if it's something that affects and we make it part of the application process,
Maybe it's things
we will be
should
responsible for it.
you know, again.
At least the communication going out. As
Yeah.
far as communication coming in, it would be someone's responsibility to either bring a letter in or represent themselves in their business in our meeting when we approve the policy.
Yep.
That way we have it all there in front of us and we can make, a decision or come up with a special, we come up with special considerations when we approve it. It's approved as long as you do this, 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 and this. I mean, to make sure that everyone's concerns are addressed, or the event has to change dates. I mean, it's as simple as that.
That's more than fair.
I'm the representative from the council that also serves on the DDA. And again, it's constantly said about how the DDA is trying to help bring people into the community, to promote the community. The other thing is we're having a terrible time getting members. Good example of, when they set up the pictures, we had nothing on our block downtown. I tried to get that, but I couldn't get it. It would really be great if some of you affected, and I know you're all busy, but if there's not that many meetings, if some of you affected merchants, if we could get some involvement.
Some voices on the DDA.
Because there's other things that they want to do, and maybe they just aren't sensitive to some of the needs downtown, the very people they're trying to help. So if we could, hate to put you on the spot, but any of the people, Chaps, Papas, yourself, if all you guys are being affected, we sure don't want these kind of things to happen again. Now, if you were at one of yous were serving in there, you'd have said, by the way, hey, this date's no good.
Right.
This is killing us, and it'd just be great if we could get somebody there.
Okay, so, to bring it back around, we have the parade special event, I'm assuming we answered your questions, you guys are good?
I'm good.
So, okay, we're gonna bring it back around now. We have the DDA Armageddon Parade Special Event Approval. Village Clerk, this is your agenda item.
Keeping with the special event policy, the DDA submitted an application for the parade during Armageddon. The event has been reviewed by the police chief, DPW supervisor, and myself, and all aspects of the policy have been met. But what you have to understand is there's not included in on this an indemnity or a proof of insurance, because if the DDA hosts something, that is on the village, because they are a village entity. So therefore, our liability insurance is what covers the parade. So I just want to make everybody completely aware of that. If there is something happens, which, you can't say it won't, can't say it will. I mean, I hope nothing happens, but it is a lighted up parade. You do run the risk of somebody being hurt and the village being liable. So that's my only statement on it.
Madam President, I have two things. For one, I don't know why Kathy Stork is soliciting people to be in the DDA parade. To the best of my knowledge, she's not in the DDA. And again, we're getting into a point where we've talked about before where you have to make a separation between the bike and board group and the DDA. And even in your presentation here, people can take this misunderstanding that the DDA is doing everything, and that's not what we want. The DDA is only putting on the parade. And that's a problem that we need to resolve with the DDA. And I said at prior meetings when we talked about ARMADA and Armageddon that I don't think that the DDA should be handling these events, period. Let the nonprofits, let those other community organizations handle this. Get it out of our hands as a village entity and let them do it. There's no reason that DDA needs to be doing the parade. Bike and board, we approved their event. They can do the parade, and I don't see why they're getting involved in that. So I'm going to jump out and make a motion to deny the application for the Armada DDA for a special event permit on October 20th for the Armageddon parade.
There's a motion by Mr. Sturritt. Is there a second?
No, I'm not.
I'll support.
Support by Mr.
I'll support
Ballard.
with discussion.
Okay, discussion now?
Yes, first of all, I'm not necessarily in disagreement with you, but I am in disagreement with your timing. Armada's been what, this will be the third year? Stopping, you guys didn't vote to stop it all these months. Now, right up before it starts,
only
we've
just
known
got the
about it.
application now, though.
Pardon?
Only just got the application recently.
But hey, let's not put our head in the sand. We all knew the parade was there, we all knew Armageddon was there. If you wanted to take it out of the DDA, you should have voted on it long before today.
We can't
Nothing to
put
vote
something
on.
like that on the agenda without having the backup documentation, because
Well,
I
Dave-
would be
First of
making-
all,
Dave, too,
if
you
you're
didn't-
denying having the participation, yes, you could. You could have said DDA, we don't want you doing this in the future, and we're past,
Dave,
Mr.
just to backtrack a little bit, when we had their budgets, we told them, you are not to do, you have no money, nothing.
They're
That's what we
not
told
spending
them.
any money.
I understand that, but at the same time, we've basically told them nothing. If something were to happen, and this is on our insurance, who's gonna be paying our portion of the liability? The village or the DDA? Who's gonna pay it?
Village.
It would be a village function.
Exactly.
Sure, and you know
So,
that.
well,
So then
I'm
that's
just
the
trying to,
question. We
and
know that,
I'm-
she's already said that.
I understand that, but I'm trying to enforce the fact that our insurance, every other parade that we get in here is covered by someone else's insurance. This is the only one where they're asking for our insurance to be out there on the line. If it goes up, our taxes have to be increased. And I'm sure you don't want to pass a tax increase. I know I don't want to have to pass a tax increase for a parade.
Also, we all saw this application last meeting. Right then, you could have said, look, we're against this thing, make the motion then.
It's
But you
not on
didn't.
the agenda. We can't
I
even
asked
discuss
at the
it.
I did
Yeah,
ask at the
you did.
last meeting, I
And we
asked
didn't have the
Kathy
application
Stork,
at the
I said,
last
why
meeting."
isn't our biking board doing the parade? It
I-
wasn't
We're
answered.
not allowed to.
I don't think we should vote on it tonight. We need to postpone it, or,
Well, there's
Do
already a
some-
motion out there, so there is
no,
gonna be a
we've got-
vote.
well, there's no one here from Bike and Board.
Biking board's
They're
not
not
doing
worried
it.
about
involved
it,
in
the
it.
DDA is
DDA.
doing it. Well, that's,
Right.
they
That's
could be,
their
they
own
all knew
fault.
it was
Yes,
on the agenda, it was
Yeah.
postponed last
I
weekend.
was asked
Easter.
if I thought the council was gonna turn down the parade, and I said, no, I think they would have spoke up and said they were against it. I knew a couple of you were, but I did not hear that from everybody. I says, well, everybody's known about this parade for quite some time, so I'm thinking they would probably pass it.
In all honesty, I thought Board and Bike was doing the parade. I didn't know DDA was doing it. So,
So I'm surprised at that, but. Well, anyhow, that's my feeling. I think, I think the DDA should do this parade.
any other
Yes,
discussion?
my concern, Madam President, is as such that I'm not against this parade whatsoever. I think it should probably happen. But I cannot stand to take the taxpayers at risk. Because if something does happen, God forbid, and I just don't want it to happen to anybody. And safety is a real factor in any kind of an event. And that would probably be the only reason that I would not be for it.
Dave, do you know,
And not paying our insurance, I mean, like the other, groups as such, I welcome. They pay it, they got their own insurance, let's do it, Because it is a community event when it comes to happen as such. And yes, their concerns for dates and everything else should be, expressed
Yes.
within the given community, so.
Dave, do you know last year if there were people on foot in this parade?
I was in it the first year.
Were you on
but I
foot or
wasn't
were you
in-
on a
On a float.
First
float?
year he was on.
No, I was on foot.
See,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this, I personally, that frightens me. I don't know how well lit this is, but if.
It's not lit well at all.
Well, it's a lighted up parade, that's what I'm saying. I know that there's kids that are in it, I know there's kid groups that are in there. If they're on foot, that terrifies me.
I
If you
don't
got a
know.
little kid that's, oh, I gotta tie my shoe, and here's a tractor coming up behind them, they're not gonna see that.
I
kid
don't
then.
know, I don't know what the,
And that's what it
I don't
concerns
know
with the
what they're
chief.
doing on the parade. You know, other
I mean-
than having the parade, I
That
thought
was-
they're gonna have some, I took it there, seeing how they weren't gonna light everybody up individually, I took it there was gonna be some floats.
Well,
But I don't know that they're not gonna have somebody walking, I can't say that.
One of Howard's things on it is participants need some form of safety illumination. What worries me is that nobody from this council is going to be supervising that parade to make sure that everybody has that illumination. You know, and I would hope that somebody from DDA, the DDA board, would be responsible for that. Not, you know, not the other person listed on the application, as their affiliation with DDA is not, there is none. So that's a huge concern of mine. I mean, if everybody's on floats, I would feel a lot better about it. But again, it's still on the village's insurance. And I talked to our insurance agent. Of course, the village's insurance will cover it. Of course it will, because the DDA is under our umbrella. One of the suggestions they had was making everybody fill out a form, like our volunteer form, but a participant form. There's no way to police that though. And I can't get the volunteers to fill out the forms. The DDA was supposed to make sure that those got filled out for the gardens. That has not been done. My faith in that getting done is I don't have any.
Madam President, again, and I have to agree with Mr. Watt, is that as we sit here at this table, we are the custodians of the tax rolls and of the welfare of this village. And I find it awfully hard to vote for something that I'm going to take the people of this village and tell them, guess what? You're at risk if something happens. I am not about to vote for anything that's going to put the risk of the welfare of these residents in this community on the table for something like this. Therefore, I'm going to call the question. I'd like to have a vote on this.
You want a roll call vote?
Yes, ma'am.
Stir
Hold on, I gotta think of.
Wait, are we voting on calling the question or voting on the?
You're voting on the motion
You're voting
that
on the
Mr.
motion?
Sturrett and
Motion
Mr.
to vote
Bailey
aye,
said, the
right?
motion to not approve it.
I vote yay.
Ballard?
Yes.
Confused. Wolock?
Yes.
Audie?
Yes.
Cooper?
Yes.
Clark?
No.
Conan?
No.
Motion passes.
Can I just ask one question then? Is it the desire of council then that that we notify Board and Bike if they want this to proceed, that they should fill out a special event form for the next meeting for approval if they want to take on the
Sure.
the
Yeah.
parade?
I think DDA should be notified
Right,
first, it was
first.
their agenda.
Yeah.
And then see if they
I-
feel that
Let
it's
them
best
take
to
the
go to
vote.
Board
I
of
have a
Education.
question. If the DDA says all people are on floats, does that change everybody's mind?
No. Won't change my mind at all.
Okay.
I think, like I stated, the risk of insurance and that if we would have to have that problem arise, I couldn't have welcomed that at all on our taxpayers.
Now, the last 2 years, the DDA ran the parade and we've.
I don't know that
We
I'm
don't
even
know.
aware of that, because last
Yes,
year
one
it
time
seemed
it was
like everybody
DDA
was
did it,
pointing
one time it
fingers.
was Board
Whether
Bike
anybody
did it.
knew it then, I mean, we insured them then,
Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't
I
aware.
would assume.
Well, we wouldn't, I mean,
I don't think, everybody's going like this, I know, but I don't
There's a lot of
think,
that last year.
like I say, I was in it, and Board of Bike didn't run.
Now, you have some people that are common.
Well,
But,
remember Mordecai stood up last year and said, no,
No, but
we
they
had
didn't.
nothing to do with it, so. But
I
we were
think
told
that
by
was
the
Art
DDA
Beta
before.
though then. I think that was Art Beta. when they
So,
started.
all right,
But, no, the other 2 years, the DDA did run the parade.
well, that's what it says on the application.
Yeah.
But- So, all right, so I guess I just want to be sure, I will notify John tomorrow.
How many injuries do we have those 2 years, by the way? Because it was
None.
dark, I remember, because I was walking in the dark.
None, but Dave?
I
No.
didn't trip, that was a pretty good indication, I would say.
Madam President, I
Okay.
think we also need to inform the DDA that people outside the DDA cannot represent the DDA. If Kathy Stork is walking around town saying that she's doing our DDA parade, that she needs to stop doing that. Because they are separate, Bike and Board is separate from the DDA.
Yeah, we
There
were-
is no overlapping of
that.
her, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Because we don't have people going around saying they're on council if they're not on council. We don't have people going around saying they're on ZBA or planning commission that I'm aware of in representing those organizations.
Well, Jeff was very clear last year about mixing a nonprofit with a DDA. He was very clear about that. So, I mean, I want to be clear, I will notify John tomorrow. And I guess I can tell him if Board and Bike wants to do it, that they're welcome to fill out a special event, but I don't.
Well, I
guess
think
it-
that should be the DDA's responsibility anyway, if they want to invite someone else to run this, rather than us contacting somebody else and say, here, you can do it.
All right,
That's,
okay,
I don't think
all
that's
right.
our.
Okay, so I'll
our
notify
place to
John.
do
Yep.
that.
And it's still the DDA,
Yeah, but,
I mean, again, it's still under the DDA, so I think you're right, Joe.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Next agenda item is a special event approval for the Armada High School Homecoming Parade. Are there any public comments? Any public comments? Hearing none, village clerk, this is your agenda item.
I'll start it like I did the other one, keeping with the special event policy. The Marietta High School submitted an application for the homecoming parade. The event has been reviewed by the police chief, DPW supervisor, clerk, and all aspects of the policy have been met. We've had, they turned in their application, we have their certificate of insurance, we have their indemnification. This is the same parade that has been happening since probably before I was born.
Good. I'll move to approve the application by Armada High School for a special event permit on September 28th for the homecoming parade between 5 and 6 p.m.
Motion by Mr. Audi, is there a second?
Support.
Support by Mr. Wallach. Any other discussion?
Yes, I can testify that it's been going on way before Michelle.
Well, thanks, Steve.
Any other discussion?
The only thing would be, going forward, we need to be notifying the other business owners. You guys have been around.
thing.
Well, you're new to the business, but you've been around town, but like the pizza shop, Pizza in Paradise,
I'm
he
gonna-
might not know about this.
Right.
so
I'm-
We do need to,
Right.
No, I
It's
agree
something
with
that
that.
we're gonna
That's-
start doing.
Yeah,
yeah,
Not a homecoming parade, it's a very quick parade.
yeah.
yeah, there's only like 8 votes.
Citizen Hall.
But when you're waiting on North Avenue, heading north, it's very long.
Depending on what mile road you're trying to
All
get
right. Motion to adjourn.
No,
Okay.
we got a
on. No, you
question.
gotta vote
Okay.
yet.
I do have a question about the Armageddon parade. Why aren't they hosting it?
That we don't know.
Like, why is it the only one? I mean, the high school came in, turned in their paperwork, brought you their insurance certificate. It wasn't Armada because they don't do a parade for Armada, just
No,
your comment before.
Armada was for the, that was
But
for the one.
why don't they? I mean,
We don't know.
We don't.
Yeah, we can't.
Well, and everybody's in defense of, this is a new policy. This is, we're still getting the kinks out. You coming in here and telling us what happened, like Sherry said, you can, we can now, let's do that. Let's get an email listing out for all the businesses so they're aware. Hey, there's only how many parades here in a year? And that's, Memorial Day,
About five.
maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But those dates, the business people do need to know it because you're not gonna have business at that point because people are gonna park downtown and watch the parade. So, every time something comes up, we do what we can to mend it, So, but to answer your question, I don't know.
And since it's the only one that, they don't sponsor their own, I think it's in the village's best interest that whoever is putting on an event, they solely are responsible for the whole
For
thing.
for insuring it.
Yeah.
Right.
Agreed.
The full
Yeah.
event.
Right.
Yeah, I think just as a village, as a community of people, that's in their best interest
Mhm.
to do
Thank
that.
you.
Okay, well,
Thank you.
gentlemen, do I need to send you a reminder about your files?
Well, that's nice to see you.
Because we are going to get an email address going, so I can notify you too.
You would be a wonderful representative.
Is there any openings before the DDA?
Yes, there are. There's a couple.
Would you like an application?
Can I bring my dad with me?
Yes.
Yeah, we actually have to.
I had lunch with him today, he would be happy to know. Bye guys, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is there any other discussion about the homecoming parade?
I do have one concern, is the candy that they throw. I know it's been a fun thing, and it's something that they always like to do, but if maybe they could have sideline walkers that's tossing out the candy, because like when Michelle talked with the insurance company and, all of the Apple Fest parades and everything, we had clowns in Apple Fest. We don't allow it in the Christmas parade, but if they could have cheerleaders or somebody, designated along the
Cheering.
sideline, well, I mean, just something
Mhm.
to pass out the candy and toss it out into the crowd so that they're not running the risk of a little kid jotting out to grab candy.
Because when you throw it from the backs of trucks, the kids do run out.
Right.
I mean,
The adults run.
They do, yes.
Lyle.
The group of us that were on the corner last year at homecoming parade actually witnessed the one little boy that pushed the other one to get at the candy first, and he actually tumbled into the street. So
If
it is
that's,
risky, and I would like to see them come up with a method of something else, a way to do that.
Well, for this year, can
I can
somebody
suggest it.
contact, who's the contact?
Stephanie Cook.
Ursola?
4 days.
Oh,
Stephanie?
Ursula.
Ursula, one of those people, and try to let the people who are in the parade know.
Yep, I can do that.
Perfect. Okay. Any
So
other
do we
discussion?
want to put that on as a stipulation then, that no candy to be thrown, or just talk to them and we'll keep an eye
Talk to
on
them,
it?
suggest.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carried. Okay, upcoming agenda items. Are there any upcoming agenda items anyone would like to add at this time?
Yes.
Yes.
I had concerned citizen contact me, and I checked through the place, and we really don't have much about shooting bows in town, bow practice. I mean, we wouldn't allow pistol practice in town, and this person says, like a compound bow's a pretty strong,
Have you talked to
Weapon.
Marv or Chief about it?
the chief, I think, and I talked to Officer Dave,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, I thought he said, "Do you really have anything?" And I brought it to the office to check out through the ordinances, and we didn't have anything, so I thought I'd put that on there, and if the council thought we should maybe have something, that we would either give it to then the planning commission or to the attorney.
Well, Jeff will be at the
No,
next meeting.
there
so
is in the ordinance that you can't discharge a firearm within the village limits.
That's not
I know
considered
that's in
firearm.
there.
A bow.
But I think there is something about bow and arrow in there too.
Is that a village ordinance or is that a state law?
That's village
A
ordinance.
village ordinance? Wow.
Again, I had a citizen contact me, I thought it was really a good question, and
I don't
that's why I thought I'd put it
We-
on the agenda.
We can put it under.
Like I say, I've already got a hold of the police department in office. Well, I talked to Becky, I think she talked to you though, didn't Michelle?
No, actually, she talked to me after she talked to you. She
right.
just looked it up.
And so,
So
Well, Jeff will
what
be
we can
here,
do is
so-
we can put it on the agenda for an upcoming agenda item. Marv, if you don't mind talking to Chief about it, maybe you can address it at the next meeting if you need more information.
No.
Let us know that you need to talk to Jeff or have Chief contact Jeff, so we can put
But
that
it
on
is
there.
considered a firearm, so
Is it
I would-
considered-
I don't know if,
I mean, the thing is, it's very dangerous,
yeah,
So if them things severe, they could do just as much damage to.
yeah.
Okay,
Well, yeah, you
Considered
get a
it a firearm.
compound bow, those are pretty,
Okay, so we'll add that as an upcoming agenda item. Are there any other upcoming agenda items?
I'd like to discuss next meeting, putting in our rules of procedure, for tape recording, audio recording the meetings. So,
Any other upcoming agenda items? Hearing none, any other citizen comments? Any citizen comments? Hearing none, any council comments?
Do we, excuse me, and I should ask this a little quicker, should we put on that parade for the next agenda item?
I don't want to assume that they're gonna have someone to bring it back.
We'll have to submit it.
They can submit it, it'll get in, as long as it's the Wednesday before the meeting, it'll get on the agenda.
Well, that's only if
It's
Chief's
Chief's
here,
You
yeah.
know what, I'm gonna add it on Armageddon Parade,
okay.
and then we'll have it on the agenda. You know, it wouldn't be the first time we cross something off if we didn't have anything, but at
Okay.
least, that way I know it's on the agenda for next
Okay, so it'll be your agenda item then. Okay,
That's fine.
Well, that gives somebody a chance to
Yeah,
pick it
yeah,
up
That's fine.
early.
Yeah.
And that's what we're looking for.
Right.
okay.
You know, I think
That's
it's
fine.
fair, you know, more than fair.
That's great. Okay, any other council comments? Any community events? We don't have a closed session tonight?
Homecoming Saturday. Front game is Friday night,
I can't see the time.
7:51.
7:51, is there a motion?
Yes.
Motion by Mr. Wolak, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Conan. Any other comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carried, meeting is adjourned.
This is the first